What's up, beautiful people? Today we're going to be checking out a short history of slavery, and this is by Candace Owens. I'm ready for this one. Let's get to it.
And now for a brief history of slavery.
Okay.
Here's the first thing you need to know. Slavery was not invented by white people. It did not start in 1619 when the first slaves came to Jamestown. It existed before then. It did not start in 1492 when Columbus discovered the New World. In fact, when the intrepid explorer landed in the Bahamas, the native Taino tribe hoped that he would help them defeat their aggressive neighbors, the Caribs. The Caribs enslaved the Taino and, on occasion, served them for dinner. Slavery existed in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. The word slave actually comes from the Slavs of Eastern Europe. Millions of them, all white by the way, were captured and enslaved by Muslims in the 9th century and later by the Ottoman Turks. Slavery existed when the Roman Empire controlled the Mediterranean and most of Europe from the 1st through the 5th centuries. Slavery existed when Alexander the Great conquered Persia in the 4th century BC. It was so common that Aristotle simply considered it natural. The slave master model was just how the world operated in the great philosopher's day. Slavery existed during the time of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. As far back as we can go in human history, we find slavery. As renowned historian John Steele Gordon notes from time immemorial, slaves were a major item of commerce. As much as a third of the population of the ancient world was enslaved.
A third of the population. Wait, let's read that again. That just felt like say slaves were a major item of commerce. It means it was business basically.
Population of the ancient world was enslaved. Here's the second thing you need to know. White people were the first to formally put an end to slavery. In 1833, Britain was the first country in the history of the world to pass a Slavery Abolition Act. They were quickly
I thought it was Jefferson.
followed by France, who in 1848 abolished slavery in her many colonies. Then, of course, came the 13th Amendment in the United States Constitution. After centuries of human slavery, white men led the world in putting an end to the abhorrent practice. That includes the 300,000 Union soldiers, overwhelmingly white, who died during the Civil War. Now, am I saying that this makes white people better than anyone else? Of course not. My purpose here is to simply tell the truth, and the truth is that human history is complicated. No one, regardless of skin color, stands guiltless. Yet today we are never told to consider the murderous Persian Empire or the cannibalism of indigenous tribes of North and South America or the heinous actions under the imperialistic Muslim, Chinese, Mongol, or Japanese empires, to name just a few. Instead, we're told that slavery is a white phenomenon. And like all persistent lies, this lie spawns a bunch of other lies. On social media, I come across extraordinary depictions about how Africans lived like pharaohs before Europeans came and laid waste to their paradise. I wish any of this were true, but it's not. It's fantasy.
She just said that. I can't wait to read the comment section because I know like some people are going to be frying half of this.
The truth is that Africans were sold into slavery by other black Africans, and in many cases,
This is true.
sold for items as trivial as gin and mirrors.
Not gin and mirrors. Africans sold other Africans for bottle. Nothing was inside. Gin bottles. I'm Nigerian. I know what I'm telling you. We have museums like that. Like they sold other Africans for bottles.
Didn't go into the interior and round up the natives. They waited on the coast for their black partners to bring them black bodies. The stark reality is that our lives had very little value to our ancestors. Here's the third thing you need to know. If you think slavery is a relic of the past, you're wrong. There are some 700,000 slaves in Africa today, right now. That's
True.
the lowest estimate that I could find. Other sources say there are many more. For context, that's almost twice as many slaves as were ever brought to the United States. Child soldiers human trafficking, forced labor. These are the conditions that currently exist within the same sub-Saharan region where the transatlantic slave trade originated. African bodies are being sold today like they were sold then, and no, they are not being purchased by any country of white men. In fact, slavery, by any traditional definition, is exclusively practiced today within non-white countries. But we hear almost nothing about that. Just like we hear nothing about how slavery was universal until good people in Europe and America ended it 2 centuries ago. Why? Because our so-called leaders, black and white, wouldn't profit from it. Black victimhood is nothing if not profitable. It elects politicians and funds racial grievance groups. And if Black Americans began to view themselves as partners in the American dream, if we embraced the patriotic spirit that holds all men are created equal, the patriotic spirit that is our real heritage, then the race hustlers would soon be out of business. And who wants that?
The race
I'm
hustlers.
Candace Owens, author of Blackout for Prager University. Thank you.
Okay, that was a good video. Like I said, I couldn't wait to get to the comment section. Let me see what people are saying. So I can only disagree with the statement that no one stands guiltless. We are not responsible for actions of the people that came before us. I'm surprised that people in USA need this kind of lesson. It's basic knowledge Yeah, some of us probably knew a little bit of it in Africa, but even in Africa, maybe just me, I'm not going to speak for the whole of Africa. Maybe I was just the ignorant one. But I didn't know so much of it though until I think I started learning. Then I saw a video by Thomas Sowell which got me curious. I went to read about it a little bit. But yeah, what she said, as far as the ones I know, I think is true. The ones I don't know, I might have to verify, but I'm sure a lot of you are going to tell me or correct me already on that. Maybe some of you have already fact-checked everything she said. But yeah, that was a very, very interesting video. Very, left me speechless. She went there, she said, Africans, you were not kings. I'm sorry. She said it. She broke a lot of people's hearts, I'm very sure. Let me read the comment. Somebody said, for an expansive and accurate plus very interesting read of slave trade in the Americas, Henry Wilson, who was a VP of the US in 1872, wrote a time in several volumes called History of the Rise and Fall of Slave Power. He worked tirelessly to abolish slavery in the United States. What is his name again? Something Wilson? Henry Wilson. Wow, this book should be required reading for every American. Yeah, because I keep saying, like, you can't hide this. If you're trying to spread inclusion, you cannot hide this information from people. Everybody needs to like read this. People need to actually know this information, and then we're going to appreciate ourselves better. We're going to love ourselves better. Because now people are thinking, or a lot of people are seeing it like, oh, whites are all racist and they brought Africans here to kill them and stuff. But if they understand the origin, maybe we might be more understanding to recognize that finally we are all the same. Like, we all do stupid shit. We're all the same. It was business. Yeah. That was an interesting video. 5 minutes video, but gave me, should I say gave me chills or brought a lot of questions. I'm sure a lot of you have questions. I mean, if you're watching it for the first time. But I think a lot of people at this point are very familiar, especially the older people. The elders already know this information. The younger generation, I can probably say like 70% or 80% of the younger generation. I mean, people younger than me. I'm young, but younger than me, they definitely don't know this. They don't. Hopefully they see this video. Well, yeah, let me know what you think. Feel free to write your comments on that one. That was interesting. I like Candace Owens, I don't have to agree with her on everything she says, but I like her because she's going to say it and debate it. I mean, that's why we speak here. So yeah, debate it. It's the end of this video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.